If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Excel, and this is the Antojai community where we teach you everything about energy work, quantum healing, the law of attraction, your psychic abilities, and so much more. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share. So quantum healing, there's a lot of different ways you can describe how quantum healing works and what it actually does, depending on your level. So the practitioner themselves and how well they understand the quantum variable is what's going to determine how much of an impact you have, okay? So if a person understands quantum to just be cellular, they're only going to be able to impact you at a cellular level. For some other people, they understand that quantum is this whole entire reality. So in shamanism, there's this common saying that we live in a huge dream. Like this whole entire reality is just us dreaming the results that we're carrying on the inside. In modern day philosophies of like quantum science and energy work, people call this the matrix, or a holographic reality, a virtual reality in which we exist in and we kind of like participate in our own creations depending on the choices that we make, similar to like a Sims video game. So if a person only believes that quantum means cellular, they'll only be able to impact you at a cellular material level. For people who believe that this whole entire reality is quantum, they'll be able to actually manipulate other aspects of your reality, like specific manifestations. They'll still be able to affect you at a cellular level, but they'll also be able to even shift your thoughts and your mind in a new direction altogether. It's kind of like reprogramming your phone or reprogramming your computer. The more skilled the technician, the more work you can do on yourself and in your reality. So one of the main principles that I teach at my Antojai Academy when it comes to quantum healing is changing your limits on reality. So oftentimes people think, oh, we can do energy healing only to a certain extent, okay? But if you study a lot of different forms of energy healing, a lot of like history when it comes to like energy medicine, you realize that there are moments in history where people can do miraculous healing. The reason why those people can do miraculous healing is because they're not so heavily tied to the laws of reality that are experienced by normal people, okay? So if a person authentically believes that this world is super, super dense and you're never going to get a break and you're never going to get lucky, they're going to materialize a reality that gives those conditions to that person. If you're somebody who's like, oh no, the world is always working out for itself, everything's always getting better for me all the time, you're going to create a reality that produces those results. So when we do quantum healing, we first of all start diving into what your belief systems are, at least in Antojai, right? So we start getting a feel for who you are, what your habits are, how you live your life, and what you perceive reality to be. Like, do you come from a family that's always believed in poverty, and even though you're doing well, do you still have this subconscious fear that one day you're going to end up poor again? If that's the case, you're going to ultimately remember that vibration and remanifest that vibration somewhere else in the road of your life, okay? So one of the things we do is that we first kind of get a general scope of what it is that you're thinking, how you perceive yourself and your reality, your story, and then how attached you are to that story. So sometimes when we work with people, we end up realizing, okay, well, this person doesn't necessarily want to heal. They just want to vent about this particular situation. And there are different stages in quantum healing depending on the person who's coming for a healing. So sometimes the person is very honest and they're like, I'm ready to just like drop all of this and shift to the next level. Those people will have like a miraculous healing because they're willing to shift out of one reality into another. If you ever heard the term quantum shifting or quantum leaping, quantum jumping, that quantum is another variation of the ability to be able to change who you are. Fundamentally, this is your ego. So your ego is a personality. Your personality can get tweaked as many times as you need to become the ultimate version of yourself. We're just not often taught how to do that. And that's where quantum shifting, quantum reprogramming really comes into play, because we take an old narrative of like, oh, the world is horrible, and we turn it into a narrative of, oh, the world is great, the world works for me. The moment you shift that, you start manifesting different results. Now, when you shift that in the mind, you will not only just shift that in reality, but you'll shift that in your body, you'll shift that in your aura, and you're going to shift that in every other subconscious, unconscious area of your life. So if you notice that, like, okay, you shifted a wealth program. So you were afraid of becoming poor. You shift that program, and all the friends that you used to have for the last 10 years are people who really complain about always being poor. Since you don't have that program in your mind anymore, you're going to start noticing those people who are constantly focused on that energy of being poor are going to slowly be pushed out of your reality, and you're going to replace those people with new people who think in abundance. Okay, so that's one way we shift the quantum field. The quantum field is also understood as like the environment. So oftentimes we understand that, okay, we live by a specific ley line or a specific structure of rocks or energy grids that are man-made, like electrical systems and stuff like that, that has an impact on the body. It can make you feel a very specific kind of way. So when you start changing your environment and you go from living in the city to living out in nature by yourself with not as much distraction, that is a way that you can shift your quantum energy. And that's one of the ways a lot of people manipulate quantum healing, right? That's one thing it ends up doing. Oftentimes when you have a session with a quantum healer who's really proficient, you'll have all these epiphanies about a past life, as to why something happened to you 20 years ago, why your parents think a certain kind of way, where this particular belief system comes from. You're going to notice that a pain in your body that you haven't been able to get rid of for a while all of a sudden starts to like dissipate or completely disappears and repairs itself, all because it's energy. Quantum comes down to the energies that you're not able to perceive. You watching this video and watching like this content anywhere on the internet in general is a form of energy that is tangible. You can touch it, you can interact with it at base level. Even though this energy is quantum, it's not the full extent of what quantum can be. So this is like a very small spectrum of quantum, and then there's so much more attached to it based off of your perception. There's a lot of different forms of energy healing when it comes to quantum healing. Some of it has to do with touch, where we recognize that the power of touch is very, very, very powerful in not only healing the body, but resurfacing old memories that have been left there. There are many times where people do psychedelics, and by just having very simple skin contact, they relive a particular memory that's been kind of like stored away for a while. Same thing happens when you do like ayahuasca or any shamanic ceremony. You're stepping into the quantum field. So I don't want you to just think that quantum healing or quantum shifting only can be done with like a energy healing session or like quantum Reiki by itself. It's a lifestyle. Once you really understand how quantum healing and quantum reality works, you're just doing it all the time, and it becomes second nature, and that's why life becomes very magical. That's something that we really teach at our Antojai Academy. But quantum healing will fundamentally change every aspect of you so that your reality obeys. You're interconnected with everything. If you're really familiar with the law of attraction, you're going to realize that through the law of attraction, whatever you project, you end up receiving. So when you change the chemistry of your subconscious mind, when you change the chemistry of your body, the law of attraction can do nothing else but give you those same results. So you step into a position where you feel more confident, you feel more lucky, you feel more abundant, you feel like just things always happen to you at the best ratio possible. And the law of attraction is going to start just giving you that, because you are what you are projecting. So quantum is almost like doing advanced technician work in your unconscious mind. And the way I see it when I do quantum healing work is I just see a ton of screens. I see like all these different computer screens, and I can piece together, okay, well, this happened at age 3 and this repeated itself at age 23, and the common denominator between that is like this one instance that happened with the dad at age 19, which the dad said he never believed in X, Y, and Z. And I can see all these details, and I basically say, okay, I'm going to delete that detail. I'm going to replace it with this other file. I'm going to shift this in this one area of the body so that that part of the body gets more energy. And it's more so just kind of like sitting on the back end of any app or any computer and rewriting a new set of codes, a new set of being into the person. Now, there's a difference between doing quantum healing and quantum shifting as well, because quantum healing is coming back to mostly primarily the body. So it's going to try to shift the body first. And sometimes if the healer has not evolved past healing, then the person is going to keep you in some sort of like loop of like constantly correcting the same issue. We use the word quantum healing to help people who don't know what they're looking for, right? So a lot of people are looking for healing. So when we put quantum healing in a phrase, that person is going to find the best modality that fits what they're currently researching on the internet. But as a quantum healer has to understand that the phrase quantum healing attracts a certain kind of person that's looking for a specific kind of modality to help them shift out of their reality. But the quantum healer has to be beyond healing. The quantum healer's intent should be, okay, this person who's coming to me looking for a quantum healing is going to get quantum corrected or quantum upgraded, quantum shifted into the next highest version of themselves. The healer should not be looking at, oh, I'm going to quantum heal you, because healing is a limited idea that's going to keep you in a specific spectrum. So when we are really diving into these concepts, it's really important to do your research with the healer, get a vibe for what it is that you're actually looking for, and be open and honest about your own transformation. That's one of the major things that are going to really determine how powerful and what quantum healing will do for you. If this was helpful for you, don't forget to subscribe, comment, share. Thank you for being here. Join us on Patreon, follow us on Instagram and on TikTok, and I'll catch you in our next episode.